Hey everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today, here is a very simple tutorial for the mirror cube, which is very similar to the 3x3, showing you why it is so easy to learn. So, straight away, let's get into it. First of all, I have a question. Are these scrambles the same? Well, the correct answer is yes. So, here it is. So you already know how you have to know how to solve the 3x3 because the mirror cube is just literally a 3x3. So I'll be teaching the layer by layer method, which is a type of a beginner method. But if you use CFOP or something like that, you can try doing things like F2L, OLL, and PLL. So usually we will be starting on the white cross. And what I do for mirror cube is consider the biggest centerpiece to be my white cross. Now you can see that around the centerpiece, the edges. So you can see which one pops out the most. And it can be hard to differentiate at times, but you should be able to know it is one of them. And that is this one. Next, that's going to be your white cross. So since this is the biggest center, we're literally just looking for the biggest edge pieces. So we can see that this edge piece is one of the biggest ones. So we can see that if it matches with any of the centers, it's the one to go. Right there. This one also looks like a pretty big one. Let's see. It doesn't work there. What about here? No. That means it has to go there. Then we can see that this big piece is flat, or you could say, and then this one is also pretty big. So we can just straight away try it. Next, we're going to solve the corners. And literally, we're just looking for the biggest corners because we're solving the biggest cross. So this one looks pretty big. Let's see. I think that it will go in one of these big slots. So you can see that this slot is wider than this one. So if this one looks accurate, try it out. It might work. This one also looks pretty big, and I feel like that it's going to go in there. There we go. And then this one looks also like a pretty big corner, and I think it'll go in here. This one also looks like a pretty big corner, so I'm going to insert it into there. So then for the edges, guess what? We're just looking for the biggest edges remaining. This one is flat with the center, so it must be going into one of these two. So we can try it out. And once we do the 4 moves, if this is flat, then that means it's the wrong one. So we also can know it goes in there. This one looks like a pretty big one. Let's take it out with one of the algorithms. And it's flat here. And I think it'll go into this one. The first and second layers are all about predicting which pieces goes into the slots. And this one I predict goes in here. And that also does take a lot of practice. That one. But noticing the biggest pieces and the smallest ones help you. So now for the last layer, I'm just going to show you 2 look OLL and 2 look PLL. But of course, if you know 1 look OLL and 1 look PLL, you can go for it. So now we're looking at which pieces are already flat on it basically. So we can see that these 3 pieces are flat, and we're looking to build the cross. Now we know that if it's this 2 in an L shape, you should probably know the algorithm. But that's how it goes. And then we're looking for which corners are not flat. And we can see that it is one of those cases where 2 of them are already solved, which looks like this. But this isn't the only one. It could be this one. So how do we figure it out? Just try imagining, don't do it actually, twisting the corner. Now if it's gonna twist clockwise, it means that it's not this way, to be flat. But if it feels like it's twisting anti-clockwise, it will be this close. Oh, solve that. So if this is twisting clockwise, we can do the algorithm to solve that. And then for PLO, we can see that which pieces are already solved. We can see that we have a bar of solved pieces right here, which means that this could be something like maybe a V-perm. So I'm going to show one look PLO for this one, or actually no, two look PLO. So we can do the algorithm to solve all of the corners. And then we can see that this is a type of U-perm. If you can look at these solved pieces and the corners are solved and these solved edges. So what we can do is look, if this piece has to go to the right, then it's a UA perm. But if it has to go to the left, it's a UB. So we can simply solve it like that. Now here is a random mirror cube solved because I know deep down that you actually guys want to see it. And I am not very fast at mirror cube. I used to be very fast at mirror cube, but now I am not very fast at mirror cube, due to me not practicing for a long time. And mirror cube is not an official event, but sometimes, first of all, everyone loves it. Second of all, competitions can host unofficial events, which it's not posted into WCA. Instead, something called cubing contests, which holds the records of things like unofficial events than the competitions. And Mirror Cube is one common one. So you could compete at Mirror Cube in a competition. It's just obviously less competitive and it's an unofficial event. But a lot of people want to make Mirror Cube a real official event, being the second shape-shifting event after the square one. That was a 54.33. That's it for today's video. I hope you liked it. Make sure to subscribe, like, and stop making my cubes disappear. Until next time, bye.